Update. Am I the a-hole for refusing to do something special on my wedding day for my sister because she refused to do something for me at hers? Original post. Hi 30 female, I'm getting married this Sunday, and my sister Jessica, 28 female, got married 2 years ago. A couple of weeks before her wedding, my ex left me for another woman, and it was devastating because I thought that he was going to propose soon. At my sister's wedding, I asked her if she could throw the bouquet to me as to wish me luck, but she refused and said that she didn't want to damage it. I asked her to lend it to me for a couple of pics instead, and she refused that too. I said nothing more and I didn't bring it up again until now. Okay, my sister is pregnant and wants to announce it at my wedding. She asked, and I said absolutely not. When she asked why, I told her that 1. The wedding is for my fiancé and I, and 2. She didn't do what I asked her to do at her wedding, so why would I do what she asks in mine? She's mad and says that I'm being ridiculous. Our mother says that I'm being childish. Am I the a-hole? Edit. Tomorrow is the wedding, and my sister is currently not talking to me, and neither is my mother. I cannot uninvite them, but I'm very concerned. Now for the top comments before reading the aftermath. Not the a-hole for not wanting a pregnancy announcement at your wedding, but I guarantee she's going to make one. Definitely. I don't understand why this has become such a thing. I see so many Reddit posts about people taking over other people's special day with proposals and pregnancy announcements. Please, for the love of God, people, stop doing this. It's okay to not be the center of attention all the time, and to let people have their moments. We all need some sunshine. Drop a note to the MC or the DJ to mute the mic if sister or mom wants to start talking about the pregnancy. That won't work, and will put even more attention to them. They will find a way to make their announcement, even without a mic. If people note that OP is trying to block their announcement, it will be taken against her. She will be deemed the villain just for not wanting other to take the spot at her own wedding. I have seen this many times. Pregnant woman trumps bride. Only option is preemptive measures. I suggested earlier, the best way to do preemptive measures is to send an email to all the guests attending the wedding with a beautiful congratulation message to her sister for her pregnancy, way before the wedding date. You can absolutely guarantee she or your mother will announce it at your wedding anyway. Yeah, I think that too. Time to let it slip when talking to your most gossipy family member OP. Prevention is better than cure. Now for the update. Hi everyone, just here to give you an update. First of all, thank you so much for all the advice and support. I wanted to clarify a couple of things. I wanted a photo with a bouquet for myself. My ex wouldn't have seen it anyway, as I go strictly no contact after breakups. Some people were also concerned that I expected her photographer to take pictures of me for free. That wasn't the case. Her wedding was very low cost, and I was actually the photographer, so I just meant I wanted to take a selfie. Now for the update. I had a talk with my mother and sister beforehand, and clearly told them that if either of them announced the pregnancy or made it obvious in any way, I would go no contact with them for good. They either didn't believe me or didn't care. My wedding was also low cost. On my side, the only family attending were my mom, stepdad, uncle, sister, and brother-in-law. My now husband only had his mother there. The rest of the guests were 5 friends we both invited. There were no speeches or anything formal planned. The ceremony went smoothly, and we moved to the reception area. As soon as we sat down, my sister said she had something to share. I looked at her and said, "No, you don't." It was awkward, since most people there had no idea what was going on. In my country, wedding gifts are usually given after the cake. Well, my mother handed my sister her gift and said, "The new mom also deserves some recognition." That was it for me. My sister started crying happy tears, and even had the audacity to try to hug me. I stepped aside and told both of them that the celebration was over for them. They left because my stepdad and brother-in-law finally realized I wasn't joking. I haven't responded to any of their calls or messages. I'm done. Not the a-hole. They asked, you said no. That should have been the end of it. But they were hell-bent on announcing it and stealing your day. They could have announced it the day before, the day after, but no, they went against your expressed wishes and just had to announce it during your wedding celebrations. They think that the world is their stage, and they deserve the spotlight to be on them at all times. and can't imagine other people being actually real and having their own lives that exist outside of their scripted universe. You are right to drop the rope and move on without them. Exactly. They made it clear they saw her wedding as just another stage for their own moment. Opie gave a clear boundary. They chose to ignore it. Actions meet consequences. So, let me get this straight. There were only 11 guests at your wedding, and 6 of them had nothing to do with your sister. And of the remaining 5, 3 already knew: sister, mom, and brother-in-law. So the announcement was just for your uncle and stepfather? Why was it so important to announce it at the wedding then? I don't understand. Not the a-hole. Stepdad already knew. My uncle didn't. But my uncle didn't like what his sister, my mother, and niece did. Ooh, wow. The level of disrespect. I bet the sister is the golden child and the mother is an entitled Karen. Do not let them back into your life, because every future milestone, yours and your children's, will be stolen. And do not let them manipulate you with a sister's child, saying he or she is innocent, deserves an aunt, or any of that BS. If you do, they'll suck you back in, and you'll be stuck in the same loop. Good luck. I hope you're having your honeymoon soon. Most important comment in the comment section. After Opie gets back from that honeymoon, I hope they get to see this. I read it. No honeymoon yet, so I am reading the comments. Why were they so dead set on announcing the pregnancy to your friends? If your extended family were there, they'd have the excuse that all the family was conveniently gathered. But in this case, their only audience was a group of people who just won't care that a man banged his wife and successfully impregnated her. I read another story on here, where the wedding was mostly friends and not family, and the bride's friends started booing the sister when she announced her pregnancy. The bride told her friends ahead of time, and they took it upon themselves to ruin it on her behalf. Next story. Am I the a-hole for agreeing with my niece being booed at her sister's wedding, and then later putting her in check? I have 2 nieces, and one recently got married. The other one is pregnant with her first child. At the reception, she used her toast time to announce it. My niece is selfish like that, and has always stolen the spotlight. She always gotten away with it though because she was the favorite. Well, she didn't get away with it this day. The groom's family and friends immediately booed her loudly. The best man, groom's brother, said on the mic how dare she use his brother's wedding to announce that, and this day is not about you. The booing changed to applause, and not just from his family and friends. I clapped too. My selfish niece and her husband left out of embarrassment. I went to the bride to check on her and hug her. That's when I found out my niece asked the bride for permission to announce it weeks ago because it's practical since the whole family will be there. But the bride said no. She wanted that day to be about her and her husband. This made me very glad I clapped. Later on, selfish niece sent me a text blasting me for clapping while she was being humiliated. I ignored it. She called me the next day and blasted me, but this time I told her she deserved it. I told her I knew her sister asked her not to announce anything, but you had to make it about you like always. Then she had the nerve to tell me she's always been your favorite niece, and while that's true, that pushed me over the edge. I told her she, the bride, had to be someone's favorite since you held that title with both of your parents. Unlike you, she has a kind and selfless spirit that she'll pass on to her first child. Then I told her I don't want to hear from you until you grow the heck up and apologize to your sister. Then I hung up. Now I'm all kinds of a-holes to my sister, their mom, and other family members for clapping, and my words over the phone. I don't regret the clapping, but did I go too far over the phone? Not the a-hole. But now I'm wondering if the bride had a feeling her sister would make the announcement anyway, and suggested the booing to her new in-laws and hubby's friends. I think she told her then fiancé about it, but I doubt she planted suggestions. She's not mean like that. Honestly, she got what she deserved. She asked the bride if she could announce it. Bride said no. She did it anyway, and everyone there booed her. Good for humbling her, because your niece needed it. She tried to hijack a wedding just for attention. She got her attention. I think she got all the attention she could handle. True, LOL. She technically got what she wanted. She's just upset it wasn't the kind she was hoping for. Not the a-hole. More people should be like the groom's family and friends, and boo anyone who tries to hijack other people's special moments. You're a good aunt contrary to what those awful people say. I've read a million of these. My sister announced her pregnancy or engagement at my wedding, and this is the first I've heard of people booing. We need to make this a thing. We need to see videos of people booing entitled a-holes who hijack other people's celebrations. We need a hashtag where I can go watch hours of jerks getting told off by the entire wedding party. Hashtag normalize booing. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not offering to drive my daughter to and from my ex-husband's wedding events? I, 39 female, share custody of my 11-year-old daughter with my ex-husband. We've been divorced for several years, and it's been a high-conflict co-parenting situation. I have spent years in trauma therapy to recover from his emotional abuse, as well as issues with his father, who has a history of alcoholism and abusive behavior. For that reason, I avoid any interaction with his family for my own safety and mental health. My ex is getting married soon, and the wedding weekend falls on my custody time. Even though I had a vacation planned that week, I agreed to cut it short so that my daughter could attend. I genuinely want her to feel included. They have made it explicitly clear that she will not be riding with them to any of the wedding events. Instead, they've asked me to arrange her transportation, or left it vague, implying they'll find someone to drive her between multiple venues throughout the weekend: rehearsal dinner, wedding reception, brunch. Given that this is an adult-only wedding with alcohol present, and knowing that some people involved, including his father, who has a documented history of drinking and unsafe behavior, I have serious concerns about who that someone might be. I do not feel comfortable just handing my daughter off and hoping that whoever drives her is sober and safe. So far, I have not offered to personally drive her all weekend. I have already adjusted my plans to make her attendance possible, but I don't think it's fair or appropriate to be expected to serve as the chauffeur for my ex-husband's wedding. Am I the a-hole? Now for the comments. I mean, do they actually want her there? Or is she just a prop? Is she the only child going? Realistically, might be better if she does the ceremony and skips the reception. Unless you trust her grandparents, I honestly wouldn't take her to the party part of the wedding. Seems sus and frankly dangerous, not the a-hole. Maybe they wanted to be a-hats and make OP cut her vacation short. And yeah, adults only besides one child, and alcohol with people who can't handle alcohol and have a history of abuse? I wouldn't take her. She'd be alone most of the time or interacting with drunk people she probably doesn't know. I was with relatives as a younger child, and they started drinking in the evening. I was so upset because they weren't acting like how I knew them, and asked never to be left like that again at night. They weren't even mean or scary, just not the people I knew and loved. You're worried about someone driving her while under the influence. I wouldn't risk it. There's probably gonna be a crap storm, but her safety is number one. Plus, they're not going to remember the event anyway, it seems. If your ex really wanted his daughter there, then it should be up to him to figure it out. You've already sacrificed enough for that man. I personally wouldn't let her even go to a child-free wedding. A, there won't be any other kids there for her to hang out with. Reasons B through Z, all the family and alcohol shenanigans. If he wanted his daughter there, he would have scheduled it on his weekend. Scheduling it on the other parent's weekend shows he doesn't care one way or the other if she is there, and is likely a power play by him to continue to control the OP. If she refuses to oblige, she's the bad guy, not him. Not the a-hole. If you're concerned about her safety, since it's your custody weekend, I would let them know that you need to know who's driving your daughter to each and every event. And if that is not provided prior to the wedding day, she won't be able to make it. If he wants her there, he should have this all arranged, especially since you changed your plans to accommodate him. You do not need to do any more accommodating. Oh, I love this advice. Last story. Am I the a-hole for not attending a colleague's wedding and telling a little lie as to why I'm not attending? My colleague is getting married in a few months, and she has invited everyone in our team. She and I are the only Gen Z in the office and started around the same time, so we've always been closer to each other than everyone else. But I've always maintained boundaries and kept my personal life separate. The wedding is in her small town, To go, I would have to get time off, fly, then shuttle and pay for accommodation and buy a gift. After the wedding, I am traveling to watch Oasis, and I then going to Japan. I need to save. I figured since I don't really want to go and I need to save my money and we're not that close, it's not worth me spending around $2,000 on this. I didn't tell her I didn't want to go. I just told her I have a lot going on that same week. She said that's okay and that was it. During my lunch break, I went to a cafe and my mom asked if I had told her, and I texted my mom about what happened. I didn't know another colleague was standing behind me reading my messages. When I came back to the office, said colleague had told everyone in our team what I had texted my mom. I told her that was very nosy and rude and none of her business. I apologized to the bride-to-be and told her I can't fork out that much money for her wedding when I have a lot going on in my life. She said it was chill and she gets it and we're good. It's everyone else that thinks I'm wrong for not going. Am I the a-hole? What? $2,000 on a colleague's wedding? Nope. Not the a-hole. And your nosy colleague wants reporting to HR for invasion of privacy and crap stirring. Sounds like the bride is okay with your decision, so what anyone else thinks is entirely irrelevant. Right? I didn't even spend that much on my own wedding, courthouse, let alone on a co-worker's. Same. Ours was $750, but $500 of that was for the king suite my dear husband insisted we get for the night. No way in Hades am I spending $2,000 on a work colleague's wedding. Did you lie though? You have a lot going on, so you're not prioritizing her wedding now. Also, I can't believe your colleague read your messages without you noticing. She would have had to be on your shoulder. If you're that oblivious to your surroundings, get a privacy screen for your phone. I had my headphones in and it was peak lunchtime. Heaps of people around, and I assumed it was some finance bro standing very close behind me. Pro-life tip: coworkers don't really want you at their wedding. They just want a gift. Honestly, I feel like these types of invitations are just gift grabs. They know you won't go, but that you'll probably send a gift. Happened to me once. Got invited to a baby shower. I didn't know anyone there except the person who invited me. Of course I brought a gift, but I was uncomfortable the whole time. Never heard back from them. Not a thank you, nothing. OP is not the a-hole.